Hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? Hope you all are doing well. All right. So, I have an interesting stream today. We have another pro review, but I decided to focus on the European Pro League, European Online Pro League, that was started this year. And I have with me today the finals of Season 1. So, a little bit about how this all goes about and stuff. Bear with me. I don't know as much about the league as I would like to. I only know how much this page tells me. But basically, this is the European Go Federation who created an online league for the European professional players. And this was season 1 of this, and this was played earlier in 2020. Today we'll be focusing on the finals. Artem versus Pavel. And I really apologize for pronouncing these names wrong. I'm going to do my very best to pronounce these names as accurately as I can, but I don't know them all perfectly, so I apologize. Especially Artem's last name, Kachanovsky. Maybe I said that right. I don't know if I did. It's not a normal name that I'm used to saying, so I might pronounce it wrong, and if I do, I apologize. But we are going to be reviewing the final 3 games between Artem and Pavel. And let's go ahead and look at what they went through to get to this point. So this was a round-robin format, as you can see in the chart right here. Then looking just at Artem, he actually faced Ilya in the first bracket. I'm not sure about the dates. I don't know the order that these games were played. I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't figure out a way to find the schedule of these games without going through one by one by one by one by one. So I don't know the exact date. So I don't know the exact order these games were played, but we can look at who they played before reaching the finals. So Artem first in the first block played Ilya and lost one and won one, and then went along to play Pavel and proceeded to win both of those games. So Artem is going to the finals with 2 wins against Pavel under his belt. And then against Ali, he went 1-1. And against Andri, he also went 1-1. And then finally against Tangai, he went 2-0. And with that result, it actually put him in first place. I thought this was a best of 3, but this is one of the things that confused me. I didn't know, because the season 2 they have 3 games in some of the blocks, so it's a best of 3. So if they went 1-1, then they played a third game in season 2, and it showed it on the page. But on this one, it doesn't show. So I wasn't sure if they just got a tie worth of points. So like you get a point for every win or something. I wasn't exactly sure how that worked out. I know in season 2 there was a best of 3, but I wasn't sure if there's a best of 3 in these. However, Artem actually managed to get first from this round robin league, which placed him in the final. Looking at Pavel, he went 1-1 against Ilya and lost 0-2 to Artem, and then proceeded to go 2-0, 2-0, and 2-0. So this put him in the semifinals, where he faced Ilya and was able to win 2-0, and now he's able to face Artem once again in the finals to try and win the professional league. So right above this chart, I'll leave a link in the description of the YouTube video, and for those in Twitch chat, I will give you a link directly. Right above this chart, it tells you a little bit about the league. It says starting from the 21st of March 2020, the EGF professionals will play an online league at OGS every Saturday and Sunday, and that was at 1800 CET or CEST. So this has already happened in the past. I wanted to cover it after the fact because I felt like I could go at my own pace and review it for everyone in chat. So one match is played per day. A single pair of participants will play a 2-game match. So a match is not just one game, but rather like one block. Switching colors in the second game. Another participant will comment these games live on the EGF Twitch channel, which I will also leave a link in the description below on the YouTube channel, and I'll give everyone a link. I'm sure most people on Twitch know about this Twitch channel already. This is actually how I found out about the league, was their Twitch channel. And the organizers was the European Professional Committee and the European Go Federation. The tournament system is a round-robin best of 2 in each match, 2 games with alternating colors. And the time control is 10 minutes basic time with a Byoyomi of 30 seconds per move with 3 periods. The tiebreaker is SODOS, mutual game. I don't know what that means. I have absolutely no idea. So if you want to look that up, look that up. But they have a tiebreaker system. And the final format is players who take second and third place in the round robin section will play a match, and the winner of that match will meet the winner of the league in the grand final. So what we're looking at today is the grand final, and we're going to look at game 1 between Artem and Pavel. All right. So in this game, Artem takes white, and Pavel, or Palko, I think is his username, Artem92 and Palko. Palko will take black. And this program that I'm using to show the score and stuff is the AI Sensei. This is the program that sponsored Season 2, I believe. I will also leave a link to the game in the description below the YouTube video. And for those who want to follow along, they can check out the game here in Twitch chat. And for the Twitch chat, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to try to move at a steady pace, but if I go too fast or there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to ask or just leave comments in the Twitch chat. And if you have any questions on YouTube, feel free to leave comments in the comments below. All right, so we're starting with the start point right here. Moving right along, we have a little AI Sensei bug. So let's start refreshing the page. All right, there we go. That's better. Now we don't have a little piece of paper. We have actually a stone. And this is already very interesting. You don't normally see this 3-4 point. The reason is because black is going to take this corner right here. And so even if you do something over here, black will be able to approach this 3-4 point with support. So letting your opponent as white, letting your opponent stop a Shamari with support is usually considered good for your opponent. So it's very interesting that a professional is doing this, because usually it's considered a lack of fighting spirit, or losing on the second move is a common phrase for it. So it's very interesting that this is the second move. Okay, so we're saying 2-3-4 points and an immediate approach. So already, in my mind, black has a slight advantage. At least in fighting spirit. Of course, it's way too early to say that black has an advantage on the whole board or anything like that. But in my mind, black has a slight advantage in fighting spirit. So it's very interesting to see that white played this one. All right, and now white going here. So this is actually quite common. Before the AI came about, the high approach was the common move to play. But AI told us that this Joseki is considered good for white, at least. Not really that it's like super good for white. It's just white can get away with it in almost every case scenario. So it's just really easy for white to play. And you usually don't like letting your opponent have such an easy variation. So a common move to play in modern times is a low approach. without some special reason, because a low approach will make sure that they don't get that corner so easily. But maybe Palco is thinking, because he has a low stone at the 3-4 point right here, maybe he wants a high stone, and that might be why he's trying to do that. So if we play this out, I'm expecting him to go high here. Oh, he's actually going to Chiniki. This is also possible. So this one, the idea is that these 3 stones are light. Also a common thing that came about after the AI, that these 3 stones can be considered very light because it has a 2-space jump to the center. And we see the AI Shamari looking thing, AI 2-space Shamari. So already we see black being very active, but white also got this nice corner. So it's hard to say that any one player has the advantage, because yeah, I like to think that this corner is a little bit good for white simply because it's easy for white to play. But at the same time, black is also playing some of the new variations, so we're seeing already some influence from the AI in this game, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, so an immediate attack. Normally you'd apply a little bit more pressure by playing 2 spaces away from this shape. So 3 spaces is a little bit lighter of an attack, but I think white maybe doesn't want to invest too much too quickly. So maybe Artem is just thinking this is good enough and just destroy the side. It's also interesting that he went in right now, but probably he's thinking if black gets both the Shamari and an extension, it's a little good for black. So this is probably being valued more than an open side or an open Shamari. And it looks like the AI says it's an even game. So I think the AI agrees as well. All right, so we're going here. An extension from the Shamari is very large. It also unsettles the white stone because white wants to come down to make a base. So this unsettles white, and I expect the next move to be a defense on this white stone, and then the move after that to be a defense on these 3 stones. This is not what I expected. This is completely unorthodox, okay? So this move is a common move against the 2-space high Shamari here. And this is one of the reasons I don't recommend that Q players play it, is because the variations are unorthodox and a little bit complicated. But if you want to study it, you of course can. And if you want to play this move, I do recommend studying it before you play it. But to play it at this timing, this is an immediate fight, practically. So I actually don't know what to expect. This move I would never think of. At this timing, I would never think of it. So I'm actually interested to see how this will play out. Alright, so we see a Hane and then going for life in the corner, or at least some corner Aji. And going for the Atari. And this ladder does work for white, so it should be okay. Yeah, it looks like it should work for white. Just right up to the 3-4 point. Okay. Black fixes. White extends. And black fixes. I'm assuming there's another move for white, because otherwise this will be really good for black. Then we're going here. The reason I'm kind of going through this is because I honestly don't know what to play. I'm kind of just watching white defend and black get a big corner right here. So I'm liking black. It feels like it's very easy for black to do this way. And we're just making a nice exchange, and then fixing. So this looks, to me, this looks super good for black. And it does look like black has a small advantage of 2.3 points, according to the AI. Which 3 or 4 point lead for a pro is a little bit much. So I feel like this attachment timing was maybe a mistake. Not like a huge mistake, obviously, but for a pro, I think it was a decent mistake. It's very interesting, though. He utilized the Aji in this corner to save this stone and get something on the outside. But yeah, there's a tiger's mouth that's kind of dealing with his influence right here. And this is a very large corner. This stone is dead, and I don't see this stone doing anything to either side. So this is such a large corner. If I thought this corner was big, this black corner is bigger. So yeah, you saved your weak group, but at what cost? You gave your opponent so much. So I'm a little bit a fan of black right now. I don't know if I'm a fan of this exchange. I mean, I don't know what to do instead, of course, but I'm not a fan of this exchange for white here. All right, and black is going to slide. This keeps white unsettled and also threatens some connection stuff, so it's kind of a nice move. I don't know if I would think of it, though. I'd probably want to be on the outside or jump with my weak group or something like that. Yeah. And now white's going here. So a tiger's mouth is a nice Vita point for a shape. So this is kind of threatening to get around these stones and maybe squeeze them and try to use the Aji of this stone a little bit. But it's also not connected to the group and you're not alive and you don't have a base. So I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I'm not strong enough to say his moves are bad, right? I'm not strong enough to question because I can't outread. But from my perspective, from my low dawn perspective, I feel like black has the advantage here. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so black is going outwards. I was thinking I might cut him off, but black looks like just playing calm is going to win the game. So this is kind of a calm move. It's not like it's bad by any means. I was thinking about being aggressive and starting a fight, but you also have some weakness right here, very subtle weakness, but some weakness right here. And also white's weak, so I kind of like the idea of cutting him off and creating multiple weak groups so I can attack it. So this is a very calm move. So we'll see how this plays out. All right, white playing a nice jump, just trying to make a position. Ooh, a clamp. This is very interesting. So I wanted to play a tiger's mouth, but after you play this clamp, the liberties are a little bit better for you. So not only were you able to get some of the side, you're also still able to come off. So we'll see how this goes. It's just black is just making shape against white's lack of shape, basically. And so now white runs with the weak group. And black's just cutting white off. I'm really liking black in this position. White has two weak groups. Black doesn't have any weak groups. There is a small cut right here, but black's on the outside, so it should be very easy to defend. There's some minor weakness right here, but thanks to K2, it's a little bit hard to attack. So I really like black in this position. And the AI also says black is up by 5.9, so I think my judgment's accurate. So I really am liking black in this fight so far. So it's very interesting. Just that first move led to this insane result. Like, who could have predicted this, that white would just start playing here and make this weird combination, and then black just handled it very nicely. So I really like how black's handling all of white's little tricks here. Okay, so we're going to wedge. I'm not too sure about what this is doing. Probably just messing with white's shape a little bit. And white's making shape. Black is also making shape at the expense of white's shape, because remember that cutting point. Alright, and now this cut no longer exists, because if white tries to cut, like right here, you can just walk that stone into this stone. So the cut is now gone. And white goes to settle this group. So this group is making some shape, and it's out, so this one became the weaker one. So now white's going back and forth. I'm still really liking black. Interesting. So this one isn't quite connected immediately, but if you try to cut it off, then you might get two weak groups again. And if you just play normal, then black will just take your base. So interesting fight right here. But black is neglecting this corner. We have to realize this. Black is neglecting this corner to try and take this base. For me, I would have just simply played a knight's move here, because I would have felt this is good enough for me. I don't know if this is good or not, but this is what I would do. I would just, take my territory and keep running with it. Starting a fight here is some fighting spirit. I feel like this might go along with white, though. It seems like white likes complications, if we've learned anything from Q4. And I'm sure as we review more of Artem's games, we'll get a better idea of his style. But just gauging by the attachment here against the Shamari, I feel like white likes these little complication games and so that might be a little bit advantageous for white if we create a complication. So I'm wondering if black could have just played simpler and more territorial, if that would have been a nice counter to white's ideas and style. So this one, yeah, it feels nice that black's taking the base, but he's also leaving some weakness. And so creating some complication like this, I feel like is more up Artem's style choice. So I'm not sure if I like this. Okay, so we are going to make a base up here. This stone can be cut off, though. Okay, so it does get cut off. I was thinking just block, but I guess that works too. What? What? That's cool. Pros are cool, man. Pros are cool. And thank you for the sub, Subatomic. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, pros are cool. Pros are cool. So this one, I believe, is trying to utilize the Aji right here, while also maybe trying to force him to get smaller and getting a bigger corner. Okay, so white does go for the cut. So white isn't going to back off and let black just get a big corner. So we're going to see how black activates this Aji right here. Okay. Interesting. So black's just working with his Aji right here to make something happen. We'll see how this goes. I can't read this out. I'm not pro enough to read this out. Or we're just watching black utilize the Aji and white's dealing with it. That's what we're watching here, because this is above me. This is above me. So all I'm doing is trying to see how white handles this and what black tries to activate with this, because the reading here is just too much. So black lives on the inside. Okay, so it's looking like what's happening is black's making life inside while cutting off this entire group right here in exchange for the 2 stones in the corner, which he's going to leave as Aji. So I didn't expect this to happen. And this Tiger's Moth also threatens to cut off this stone right here. So if you look, doot. So black is also not only threatening 2 eyes, but also threatening to connect. This whole group is cut off. This group is cut off, and and black's 2 stones are in pretty bad shape right here. But he's cut off so much right here. This is a very weird sequence. I'm not the AI. The AI, yeah, doesn't seem to like this. AI kind of went back and forth with these moves, but we're not pros. We'd have to be like Asian Pro to comment on this. But it's very interesting to see that it looks... So, remember, I was saying that I didn't know if I liked this because this seemed to go along with Artem's style. But now it's looking like black also doesn't back down from like these reading battles. So it seems like black also likes these little reading battles and pushing himself to cut off your opponent. And I have been told, like, to get from, like, mid-dawn to high-dawn, you have to be able to read, like, insanely well and read all the little Aji. So maybe this is just the secret of being a pro, is this reading crap that they're doing right here. Maybe that's the secret, is it's no longer basics, it's no longer good moves, it's just reading. And that's their secret. They always read. And that's what makes them pro. Right? Maybe that's what makes them pro. So it looks like black isn't going to back down from a fight and actually started an unexpected fight by sacrificing the corner to do it. Like, I could never come up with this. Even if I could, I don't know that I would play it, because this group isn't going to just die very easily, right? Like, you can't just say this group's dead. Like, it's dying, and it might die, but you can't say it's dead. So are you willing, just for the chance to get a powerful attack against this, to give up this corner right here? That takes some guts, man. I don't know if I have those kind of guts. Even if I had the reading, I don't know if I have like the, the freaking bravery to do this. So this is very interesting. Mm. And a nice turn to get on this. He's trying to get strength here before cutting this group off. Ooh. So it looks like white is... This move tells me that white is facing a little bit of trouble because white doesn't really have time to respond. He has to get his group out. Otherwise, it's going to be too good for black. So I still... This move kind of makes me feel like black still has a slight advantage in this fight. I'm not positive, but I feel like black has a slight advantage in this fight, which is very surprising. I did not expect it to go this way. And now we're seeing just more reading. You know, pros and their reading. Cutting points are dangerous. There's so much to read here. I could probably read this for like 30 minutes to an hour and still not come up with the best moves. It would take me forever. And they're playing they're probably in overtime at this point, right? They had 10 minutes of main time on their clock, and now they have 30 seconds overtime. They're probably in overtime at this point. Like, this is a lot of moves, and usually pros use 10 minutes, like, really quickly. So this is probably being played out like 30 seconds a move, and I'm like, I could spend an hour reading this, and they're doing this in 30 seconds. Very likely. This is a little bit scary. This stone should be dead. So the thing I was looking at was, why can I try right here and then immediately kill those two stones? This is a common shape. But there's 2 liberties to 3 liberties. Black can play this. And if you connect, that's an Atari. An Atari. So black can play this wedge. But then you take Atari there, throw in there, Atari there. Maybe this is just too bad for white, and that's why he's not doing it. This sequence exists, though, technically speaking. And then you should be alive. It's just ugly, right? It's very, very, very ugly, but you should be alive. But probably that's too good for black. The reason I think it's probably too good for black is because he chose not to do it. So there's no way he doesn't see that. So he's probably like, no, that's just too good for black. And it does look really, really good for black. So probably that's why he's not playing the simple sequence. We all know pros don't go play simple. So now it goes into complex reading because there's only 3 liberties on this group. 3 liberties on this group. And if this dies, it's game over. So this is so scary. I would be very scared. Oh, this is cute. This is cute. Okay, so what I'm seeing right now is black and Atari to try to run out. Because remember, 3 liberties to 2 liberties. So he has to try to run out. Then Atari. And then there's a ladder, but there's also a ko for a liberty. So it looks... But he doesn't have time to play the ko because... thing. So it looks like it's a ladder. Or at least a ko. That's cute. I didn't see that sequence until he played the move. So that's interesting. That's an interesting sequence right there. Okay, so these stones are dead because there's no ko threat. That's what this move is telling me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Easy, right? Easy, right? All right, and the game's still close. White's up by 2.8. Is anyone as lost as I am? So let's just clarify what happened because the sequence is too complex, right? So all we need to look at is the result. The result is black has Miai to either connect under or cut these two stones off. And he can cut these two stones off in Sentei, but he wants Sentei, right? Usually you don't play forcing moves, so you can help it. That's a co-threat. And white's not going to do it in Gote, so... these two stones should be dead. So black has this huge corner right here. This huge corner right here. And white has one corner right here. But white did get this group. And this group gives white a lot of control of the center. So it's a close game. And without the AI's help, I probably wouldn't be able to tell who's leading. But I can understand why the AI says white's ahead by a little bit. Because this is like a giant Panuki. This is like a giant Panuki right here. He has so much control of the center. So I can understand that white maybe has a slight advantage. Which means black probably made a mistake in here somewhere. I can't find it. I can't tell you which move was a mistake. But it looks like black kind of dropped the baton a little bit in this area. It looks like he was doing really well. Black's really strong at fighting, clearly. But it looks like Artem just barely pulled one over on him. And so now black's getting sent to go play another move. Yeah, I don't know. The fighting spirit is very real. It's just hard to say who's the better fighter. I want to say Artem is a slightly better fighter just because it looks like he's more insane in the fighting way. I don't know if that makes sense. It looks like he's just like kind of like Lee Sedol insane levels, I guess. It looks like he's more insane and to push himself, and black is just more content to get points sometimes. So it feels like white might be a little bit better at fighting than black. But black should be better at territory, which I think, in theory, if you can play simple, maybe you can counter white a little bit. But then there's clock time to worry about. Can you counter white in overtime with these insane moves and his insane reading? That's hard to say. Like, it's a hard argument, right? It's a tough argument. So I want to say, if you look at the just bottom right corner, this is like the first time I've seen them play. But just looking at the bottom right corner, it looks like you can counter white's insane aggressive style with some very good reading and very good judgment and basics, right? I say basics. This is way beyond basics. But my point is, with calmer moves, it looks like you can counter white's aggressive, insane moves. And I don't say insane, and don't mean insane in a bad way. It's insane in a move I could never come up with. And black also has some insaneness about him. And very good reading. They both have very good reading. And very powerful moves. But I'm wondering if he had just stuck to the same style or tempo on the top right as he did the bottom right, if he would have came out a little bit better off. Like, that's my theory. It's hard to say. This is still just the first game, so it's hard to say. But it looks like white did outfight black just a tiny bit here. But black's not taking it lying down. He got Sentei. It's really close, and now he's getting to the next open corner. So we'll see how this goes. And black's also going high. Looks like to counter the influence. So we'll see how this goes. White's playing a non-normal Joseki, and this is a Joseki though, to try and put more emphasis on the outside to utilize this gigantic position here. It says black's up by 1.4 points. It's probably too close for me to tell. I'm kind of starting to like white though, because I love thickness. So for me, I might like white a little bit here. Black's also good, but white has a lot more potential in the last open section of the board than black does. But there is some small weakness in this area. Technically speaking, This only has one eye, technically. So if black can come up with something, maybe black has the advantage. And I'm wondering if that's what the AI sees, because it says black's up by 1.4 points. I'm wondering if this group is what the AI is looking at. But other than that, I feel like white has more potential. So I don't know. That's just my judgment right there. Is white has more potential, but white also has a very slight weakness, and black has the initiative right now. That's my judgment. That's my understanding of the board so far. All right, so black's gaining some territory to make up for white's territory, and also settling. Okay, and we see some aggressive Joseki choices here. About to start another crazy fight. Is that what I'm expecting here? I think I'm expecting another insane battle. Okay, 4 liberties to 4 liberties. But black has to play an approach move. So is this good for white? I don't know this variation. I should, but I don't. Okay. Is there a Tsuji here? I feel like there's a Tsuji here. I need to know the result to see who's wrong. Is this a go? I need to know the result. It's a second. What even is this problem? Like, how do they know just this shape? I feel like this is a Joseki. This is just one of those Josekis that I never study or memorize because it's too complex. So, if white plays here, this is an eye, this is an eye, and there's no way to get in here. So this is a Seki, because this is Self-Atari for both players. But white doesn't have to play here, as we saw, because once black plays here, white plays here. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this like an infinite amount of co-threats or something like that? I don't know. I forget if there's a trick with that sequence or not. I'm thinking of a weird sequence. I think this has to have something else. I'm thinking of a weird sequence. I'm confusing myself. But it's a Seki. Is a Seki good for white here, though? Because white has thickness, so his group has support, but black's doesn't. So I feel like a Seki is good for white here. Look at that shape. Look at that shape. Yeah, I'm liking white here a lot. It says black up by 2.5, though. I like white. I think this is good for white. White's going to get all the forcing moves with this thickness and utilize this thickness. So, I like white. Alright, but black is going to run away. I don't think white will be able to go too strongly, simply because white does have some weakness. That's cool. This is also very interesting because while black's running, this group's also slowly getting cut off. It was white's corner, but white got the influence. So I was expecting white to just let him have half the corner and then go make some center. But it's not what played out, clearly. So I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So let's see. Black is running away. And this group is now starting to become a little bit questionable because it is getting behind black lines. I wonder if this is a time to Tsuji. I don't understand this move. Minus 6.8. Neither does the AI. I wonder if this was a time to Tsuji mess up. Or panic move. Minus 6.8 points. So I'm not the only one that's got a question mark. That felt like a very good exchange for black. There is a cut here now, though, because of this move. So if we just play another stone, there is technically a ko for the connection. Or maybe what you play here. So maybe that's why it's aim. Activating this stone. So maybe it's not a mistake. The AI can probably say it's a mistake because the AI can read better than I can. But maybe it's not as much of a mistake as I thought. What if black just plays right here? If you try to do that, I can just cut. Right? If you do this, I can Atari. So maybe I can still connect. I'm trying to figure out the plan for white here. Like, I don't understand what the plan for white is. Maybe just some in-game questions? Maybe a misread? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the plan that white has in this corner. And since white played elsewhere, I'm wondering if it was like some questions or some probes or something. This move, however, is very powerful if it follows through, because if he can pull off a cut from these 3 stones, this is very deep behind enemy lines. So white is now utilizing the Aji that these 3 stones left behind. And this will probably be the last fight of the game. Maybe last 2 fights, because there is some questions up here. But this section should be the last section before the end game. Okay. So I wonder if he was just doing this to try and get some endgame. I wonder if it's just an endgame idea. It looks like they are starting Yosei right now, though. Which is a little bit sooner than I would expect, but, you know, pros are really good at getting to Yosei very quickly. Ooh. Time for an attack. That's cool. So this move is kind of saying, hey, don't forget you're not alive just yet. You're almost alive, but not alive quite yet. And just keep that in mind while I start a fight over here with these 2 stones. Seems cool. I wonder if this moves. This is AI move, so I thought maybe it's a mistake since if black's able to start a fight here. But this says this is like minus 1.6 points, so I don't know. It feels like I like black's playing here. I like black's playing here to try and take the advantage. Yeah, I'm really liking black right now. If black can do this all in Sente and then start Yosei, I feel like black would have an advantage. Yep. And we're just seeing some... Black is just trying to surround this group without leaving too many eyes. And by too many eyes, I mean 2. Looks like we're just playing some connections while threatening Smiyose. White saying he's okay. Black disagreeing and saying, nope, I'm going to get some forcing moves on you. White is saying that he's okay, though. Interesting. So this one was mostly to deal with this cut right here. So if we just play this way, there's some cut questions right here. And then a lot of in-game stuff right here. Like maybe I can get this move in Sente. Or maybe this move in Sente or something like that. And then get this move. I don't know. There's some cool in-game stuff right there to think about. So probably that's what this move is for. And I guess black can't do anything? Because if black can't do anything, then white was able to get some to Sunyose first. So I'm wondering if black made a little small mistake here. I don't know. Black also had eye problems, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if black made a mistake there or not, but it's too hard for me to say. Either way, both players are now starting endgame. This move should like officially say, hey, there's nothing else on the board. We're doing endgame now. This capture is Sente, so that feels really big. Yeah, I think you can do that without the exchange, but yeah. That capture was Sente. Ooh, are we starting a Ko? Oh, ooh. Ko between pros. Pro Ko. Pro Ko for Yosei. This is a little bit risky for black, though, isn't it? Because I'm pretty sure if white gets to take again, your eyes have questions. There's a connection right here, I believe, so maybe you're okay, but that's a lot of points to take in Sente if you lose a Ko. .7 point difference. Or fighting a Ko. Oh, this is -5 points. What? AIs be too strong. Black said it's a mistake. Black is plus 10 points right here. What is the AI seeing that we are not? I wonder, can I see the AIs? Yeah, right here. The AI said it should have gone here. Okay, let me think about this. Isn't T for dead? I don't think so. I think it has enough liberties to connect. Okay, so let me look at this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me the. There we go. So why do I have a white stone? There we go. So he's saying 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, first off, is there a Tsuji in here? I don't think so, because you can't throw in and then Ko, because that's an Atari, right? So you would have to take first, and then they can fix and fix. So now there's no Ko for those stones. So, let's think about this. Because this was probably the game-deciding moment, right? These stones are cut off, but they can live pretty easily. So if I take right here, if I don't take, if I go for the eyes, black just dies in a snapback. Okay? So I take. Utari. I take the Ko. So this would be a Ko fight where if white loses, then you can potentially risk some stones in the corner. But even if white wins, Let's I don't know. Where's a co-threat? Here's a co-threat. Right. Dude. And then white lives. Because I'm pretty sure white has to live. But there's also a cut right here. Black's not alive. If I connect. Ooh, this is complicated. Okay. Simplify it. So if we connect, this is a snapback. That's bad. So that's why he played the move originally, right? He's trying to connect his group. That's why he's doing this originally. Okay, but white's also not alive, so if I save this, Utari blah blah blah, and then white runs and cuts me off. It's a capturing race? Oh, man. Okay, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. Maybe 3. I'm starting to understand why black didn't do this, even though the AI says this is the move. I'm starting to understand how he didn't see this in 30 seconds, okay? I'm starting to understand that, hey, if I was focused on this game too, I'd probably see that this is a weak group. I want to connect the weak group, right? But the AI says, hey, no. There's a capture race. Whatever, right? Whatever the order is. There's a capture race. So you say N9 kills. Yeah. I agree. It's complex, but I think white should win this. Yeah, and that's the question I was getting to, Brana, is if this is the case, is Black Sente going to kill this group on the left? And if so, is it bigger than this on the right? So first I was trying to understand what's happening here. Then I was going to get to the fact that if black plays over here, is this white group alive? So, if this is the case, then from my understanding, the AI says black can trade this group in a capturing race for this group over here, and black's up by like 10. Right? I think that's why this is a negative 12 points. Okay. So, can we just agree that that's stupid and AIs are stupid, okay? They're stupid smart. AIs are stupid smart. Clearly black didn't see this either. Yeah, you could probably sacrifice it smaller, but the point is, I think that's what the AI is going for, is some sort of sacrifice to kill the left side. And black not seeing it looks like is what gave white the lead. So it looks like black's trying to start a co to disconnect the group. Well, this is like taking the eye right here. Also, there's still a co. Also, this group is now a snapback. Because even if I play right here, now there's an Atari snapback. So these are now dead. So now he's trying. So what he's trying to do, I think what Black's trying to do, is only sacrifice half of it to kill the left side with a Ko or something. I think that's the plan here. I think that's the plan. Black. Oh my gosh, that means he did see the trade. He just didn't see it as clearly as the AI saw it. But he's trying to trade this and only half of it for the group. But I think that enables a Ko. And I don't know if a Ko's good enough. Because where are your Ko threats that are that big? Whew. All right. Is everyone on the same page? Did we all figure that out correctly? Because that was a lot more. That was an unexpected complication that I did not expect to happen. But hopefully everyone understood that. And this is just, game losing Ko. No big deal. No big deal. Black has to win this Ko now, right? This is a question of, can you count? Because look at this. After all of that, it's still within 3 points. After all of that, this is only 3 points in White's favor. So before it was like 3 points in Black's favor, like right here. And now it's like 3 points in White's favor. So it was like a 6-point mistake by Black. That's all it was. What kind of ridiculousness is this? They've got to be counting. This is a pro league. Pros are counting. There's no way they're not counting. Oh my gosh. You know how many times they probably counted in that exchange alone? And then we get some, ridiculous Yosei. Pros can count really fast. There's like a trick to it. You count areas one by one, and then you add them all up together. And then when the board changes, you only recount the changed section, and then you add it to the rest of the scores. So if you can remember the numbers, and you train yourself to remember the numbers, you can probably count in like 15 seconds. But there's no way he didn't count. There's no way he didn't count playing this as a co-threat. He wouldn't play this as a co-threat without counting. Because he knows this will still die, and this is some points. So he would have counted during the Ko. Like during the Ko, he would have counted and saw that this is good enough. I'm confident he counted. I can't know for sure, but I'm confident White counted, and that's why he played that co-threat. And then Pro Yosei is scary. Yep. And then we get the half-point Go, and White wins by 3.5 points. 3.5 points. That is a cool final. That is a cool final. That was a close game. That could have gone either way. I think my theory is that Artyom is just slightly better at the insane fighting. And my current theory, until I see more of his games, is that the counter is going to be like Black played on the bottom right, playing calm but powerful and reading just as well as he does, but playing the calm result and letting Artyom like defeat himself, I guess. I think that might be his weakness. But this is from my very low dawn perspective, right? So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But that was an interesting first game of the Pro Finals. That was an interesting game. So, that was game one. That was game one. All right, you said someone had a question about A10. Wasn't this Dame? Yeah, but it's also a snapback if you don't. Like, why does something else? Dude. So yeah. I mean, he has to fix. All right. So now, on to round two. Round two. In this game, Palco is white, and Artyom 92 is black. Let's go ahead and get started. Game two. I think is this playing the same day? I don't know. See, 5/17/2020. Game one, 5/17. And then yeah, game three is 5/17. Yeah, they're all played in the same day. All played in the same day. Here we go. What is with these pros and their second moves being ridiculous? They're trying everything to get an advantage, even if they play unorthodox. As long as their opponent doesn't know what to expect, then they'll know more about it and try to get an advantage. All right. Normal opening except for the 3-3. 3-3 is cool and definitely making a comeback nowadays. Just a little bit uncommon. And we see a low approach. This is more what I expect as low approach over the high approach. And Shuzaku's diagonal, making a comeback in the modern 21st century. Nice move. Very common to Tanuki. We're playing like very AI style right now. And low approach. It actually might be more valuable to stop a... Like, I think the AI likes the Shamari more than the side move here. So I think AI would like the Shamari a little bit better than top right. But no big deal. And 2 space high. So we're going... So black's going for a little bit of a Moyo this game. Sabaki and Sente. Ooh, Sabaki and counterattack. Gonna stop that Moyo immediately in its tracks and start a fight. And we see a common diagonal shape that we all know and love. And yeah, it's a 3 space, but this is a little bit common to... Like, if we just played 2 space, it's a little bit easy for black. So if we play 3 space, it makes it a little bit more complicated, but it's possible to handle. So this is not a very crazy move. All right, and now black's going for the attack through these 2 stones. Okay, defense. Ooh, stopping the eyes in the corner and getting some points. And cut. And connect. See, even pros connect their cuts or fix their cuts. Even pros fix their cuts. Their shapes are really nice, though. You see how there's a tiger's mouth into the corner with some good end game. Even if there's no eyes, there's really good end game right here. The shapes are really nice. Mm-hmm. Both players just playing very normal defense. Black getting thickness, white getting points. I want to say I like black a little bit better because black has more control of the center, and there's a weak white group right here. But there also is a weak black stone right here. I'm really surprised the AI likes white, considering the influence. But this is a lot of territory, so we have to take that into account as well. The AI likes white a little bit here, but I still think black's doing very nice. And going for that Moyo again. Take two! Moyo, take two. White going for the attack on this stone, which is expected. Ooh, I didn't expect a sacrifice, though. Ooh. I wonder if Artem's plan right now, this is just a theory, of course, but I wonder if his plan is to make a Moyo and to create a game where he can fight his opponent, because that's where his forte is, that's where his skill is the complex fighting. So if he can set up a fight, I think he's confident he can win the fight, and I'm wondering if that is what he's after here with the Moyo. White defending the weak group. And black saying, okay, you don't take the territory, then I'm going to go survive over here. Eventually, you're going to have to deal with my Moyo. Ooh, and now we're going down. So white's playing very calm here. I don't know how I feel about the knight moves here. It'll be interesting to see how this position gets utilized. But this does support some invasions over here. So it's not like these do nothing. But if they don't do something over here, these two stones cancel out any profit these three stones can have. So I'm interested to see how white's going to utilize the little bit of thickness here to do something over here later. But right now, white's just playing very calm. And I think calm is the way to go against Artem's style. But Artem's trying to set up a position that he can fight with. So this is my theory on what they're thinking. I'm not positive that they're thinking this by any means, but this is my theory. This is probably just fixing Aji. And this is keeping white just slightly uncomfortable. And now we're going to see black try to get a position here. If black develops a position here, it'll actually be quite nice for black, because black will still be able to attack this. Having not living groups against a pro is very scary. It's very, very scary. But pros are really good at playing with light groups. But they're also really good at attacking light groups. So if you ever get a weak group against the pro, cry. Okay, we're seeing normal Josekis. Alright, and now white is going to activate that thickness and try and go inside this area. So it's been calm up to this point, but here we go. Here is the fight that we've been waiting for. And this is the fight I believe black has been waiting for as well. But if white handles himself well and fights well, white does have the advantage. According to the AI, if white fights well here, white does have the advantage. So, we will see how it goes. Black going for the surround. And there isn't an immediate connection. Even if white tries to walk a little bit, black will just immediately block. So, there isn't an immediate connection. But white should be able to utilize some of the influence right here to make some shape, which he's doing right now very nicely. Black keeping him cut, keeping him surrounded, and white making life. Now, the problem here is, while he makes life, black is looking at some moves like right here and right here. These stones that were supporting the invasion are actually now getting weak. So I want to keep an eye on that while white is living right here. So we do have to watch that. And black does go immediately. And I'm very happy because I haven't seen this game before, so I'm very happy that he's proven my point. Makes me feel more confident in my commentary. Okay, so white's running away. And I want to say black has control of the tempo right now, or control of the initiative. So I think black's probably a little bit happy, but white does have a lot of points. So it's a little bit of pressure on black to make up the small difference that white has, the small advantage that white has. But I feel like this is going into the type of game that black prefers. So from the moves, I've never talked to this guy, but from the moves that I've seen black play this game and last game, I want to say black's probably feeling a little confident right now in the way the game's going, because this should be what he was setting up for, in my theoretical opinion. Okay, so white is running, and we see white running to the center in very nice, very normal shapes. 3 stones, jumping 2 from the center of them. So very, very common shapes. Black pushing and cut. We're just checking white's connection here. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. Black is just making white uncomfortable. Ooh. This is like white's first question move. So the question is basically, are you going to let me cut? Or are you going to cut and let me capture these 3 stones on top? I get a lot of points, but you do get to attack me. But is this attack as valuable as these points on top? So it's a question. Black says no. No. This is the same question, but a much less obvious answer. I'm not sure. This is also a lot of points. White is playing very confident in his counting right now. White does have 9.7 points of a lead, which is a lot for a pro. So this is kind of saying that White's going to secure the territory lead and just deal with this fight. That's kind of the attitude that White's taking right now. And this is interesting. Black's backing off because I guess at the same time that White's getting out, Black is also getting weak. So if White can connect, this black group is also weak. So it's also, so let's say Black goes for the cut and White fixes, right? And if Black tries to attack from this direction while White runs away, however he runs away, this group does get weak. So we'd have to attack from this direction or something. But White does have some small support. So Black's only profit is going to be this area. So the question is this enough? Something like this. I don't know the exact moves. I'm not a pro. I don't know the exact moves. But the question is something like this enough? But Black's kind of thinking that I'm going to do this now and maybe save this for later. Not sure. It's hard to say exactly what's going through their head right now. I want to say that White's feeling a lot more confident than Black, though. Yeah, this one to me feels like Black's backing off a little bit. So I don't know. I feel like he's not happy with this move probably, but probably has to be done or something. I don't know. But I definitely think White is controlling the flow of the game right now, which probably can't be what Artem wanted. All right, so we're just blocking. Cutting points are a thing, but probably he's like asking White if you to cut. This is probably a trap. I know all of us are probably eyeing this cut. If you watch my stream, we always talk about cutting points. I'm sure everyone's eyeing this cut. How much you want to bet it's a trap? You got to read that cut very carefully before you cut a pro. Oh, oh, oh. Let's see how it goes. Oh. Okay, so he's just leaving it there as Aji, I guess. He's going to leave it as Aji. And Black's going to fix. Okay. I'm sure there was a trap somewhere, but White probably fixed it, and Black's just backing off now. I definitely think White is doing much better than Black right now. So, just looking at it from here, I want to say... Palco's gonna win, but I don't think that's the result. Okay, we're just playing some Yosei. Asking some questions. Yeah, just some Yosei. Just some Yosei. Just some points. Not really, I wouldn't say Yosei specifically. It might not be Yosei specifically, but it's territorial moves. This isn't like some grand plan. It's just for territory. White's just making that lead as big as possible. So I'm kind of like waiting for Black to activate something. So Black's just preventing points. White's playing nice, basic, and solid. I feel like White is just trying to keep the territorial lead while staying strong. And Black's kind of like walking around looking for a chance. That's the feeling I'm getting from right now. White's just avoiding complications. But I'm watching the graph. I'm wondering if avoiding all these complications is letting Black catch up just a little bit at a time. It's hard to say. This looks like Black's going for a large scale attack. So the moves that I'm looking at is there is a cut right here. There's a cut right here. There's also a cut right here. So this peep to prevent the eyes, to me, looks like Black is going for some large scale attack on like the three groups to try and get some points back. I think that's what Black's looking for. Now, the AI says it's a mistake. I can't fathom why, but the AI says it's a mistake. So we'll see how this goes. It's a mistake for both sides. Apparently, there's a vital point on the board that both players are missing. That's probably what it was. Before the peep, probably just I think the AI was thinking just cut immediately. Like, just do your job. If there's a cut, just cut. Don't play prep moves. Don't play prep moves. So yeah, this is White just resisting as much as possible. Now we play the cut. So if nothing comes about this for Black, if White just handles it nicely and Black can't come up with something, White should have an easy time to win this game. I think this is Black's last chance. But this is a pretty powerful cut. These stones are very, very deep inside of Black's area of control. And there's a lot of cutting points everywhere else. So, I think Black has a very good chance to come up with something. But at the same time, this is also his last chance. It's a good chance, but I think last chance. This game is a lot calmer than the last game. Okay. We're just seeing the cutting stone survive. Black's activating some Karaji. Just walking around, walking around. Black's cutting everything apart. We're gonna see what comes about. Yep, cut off the bottom because if he captures these cutting stones, then you can cut these. And White goes for life. If White handles this easily, White should still have the advantage. So Black's got to do something. White tries to starts going for life. Black's just staying connected while keeping White cut off. Just poke. Unsettle. This is a double peep, it looks like, for these 4 stones and this group. Ooh, is White gonna reverse it? There's a capture right here? That was apparently a 13-point mistake. Oh my gosh. 13-point mistake. Uh... Do we want to go over where the AI says it's a mistake? I don't... I don't see anything wrong with it. There's a lot of mistakes here, apparently. Says he should have gone here. Isn't White dying? Isn't White gonna die? What is this variation? I don't understand this one at all. I don't know if this is true. This one might be this one might be glitched. I don't know if I agree with this one. I feel like White's gonna die. Okay, we'll just pretend that this is above our level. I'm still waiting for White to live with this group. Am I missing something? I guess this peeps the cut. Can you win that capturing race though? Am I missing something? I guess White would have won the capturing race between this group and his group on the bottom. I'm still waiting for White to live. I'm still waiting. Is it just dead? It's just dead? White gave it up? Yeah, because here White has plus 3 points. And then after all of this, Black is like 10 or more points ahead. White died. Okay. Let's back up. So, White died. How is White still in the game then? This looks so much more than 10 points though to me. So how is this only 10 points? What am I missing? So Black was able to pull out a kill from these cats. That's insane. So basically, if White tries to just live, I don't even know if he can. I don't even know if White can live. Apparently not. So White just died. I really didn't expect this group to die. I was like, where's the Tsuji? What is he going to do? How is he going to live? I did not expect this group to die. Oh, man. Okay, so in the exchange, this group's like what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 35, 36, 36 points. 36-point group. But White was able to destroy this area, capture these 3 stones. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Plus a lot of moves over here. 12, 14. Which prevented probably like 10 points. So maybe 25. So that's why it's only a 10-point loss, maybe? Black had potential points over here, and White took them away in Sente. And now White's playing Yosei. But Black has a 12.5-point lead, which is a huge lead for a pro. So I guess lesson here is just connect. Just connect. Don't make it complex. I don't know. I don't know how to think about this. Because you can't just sacrifice these, right? You can't just say, I'm going to give up those. That's too much. Because that's too much. That's not enough territory to make up for that, right? Especially when you only have like 5 points lead. Wow. So black was able to activate these cuts and actually kill something. From here, it looks like white's just going to die. It says white's up by 10, though. So I wonder if white could have sacrificed it here. Maybe white could have sacrificed it. Let's see what the AI says. That's not very helpful at all. It's still dead. Maybe just sacrifice, though. That was very unexpected. Especially since white's responding. I didn't expect him to die. So I wonder if he couldn't judge the situation correctly because of time pressure. So maybe he couldn't handle this under time pressure. That's the best I got, because these moves don't make sense if white's dead. This is where he starts accepting that he's dead or something, I guess. Because this empty triangle's keeping more stuff dead on the inside instead of doing something like pushing from right here. So I don't know. I wonder at what point did he know he was dead? Wow, what a reversal. What a reversal. I did not expect that to happen. I did not expect that to happen. And now it's just a huge lead for black. Yep, and then it's resignation. Now, for some reason, this says white plus resignation. I don't know why. This is definitely black plus resignation. Because Artem did win the game. Just double check on here. Yeah, the second game is black plus resignation. Artem did win the game. Wow! So what do you guys think about this game? That was like... I feel like it was like anticlimactic, but also like completely reversed. And you just didn't expect... You're like, when did this happen? How did this happen? Because I didn't expect white to die like that. I really didn't. I really thought Palco was going to be able to live with that. I mean, yeah, I knew it was in danger. And I knew it was black shot, so he had to take advantage and stuff. But I really didn't expect it to play out that way. I was wondering what I was missing. But maybe what I was missing is that they were playing this out under time pressure. And he just, I don't know, didn't handle it as well as he should have. I don't know. Yeah, white definitely blundered with handling these cuts. I don't know exactly how. I don't know which move it was exactly. But white went from having a very comfortable advantage to black utilizing these very, very dangerous cutting points and utilize them in a way that was able to actually kill a group and win the game. You could say that after this group died, it was game over. So, yeah, cutting points. Cutting points are super dangerous. And learning how to utilize cutting points to make a comeback. Yeah, I really thought white had a comfortable game. If he could just handle those cutting points, I really think he had the game. I'm wondering if back here, this is minus 6 points. I'm wondering if black should have cut instead, so white went here. So white should have defended the cut. Yeah, because then you don't have problems up here. You only have one problem instead of two. Well, I guess technically you have two because there is this cutting point right here. But it looks like maybe it's just a little bit easier to handle. It looks probably still complex. But maybe it's just easier to handle. I don't know. This is above my level. This is above me. But yeah, if you have two problems, fix one and then focus on the other, I guess. Because if I play it out from here and he just goes and make a base, I feel like it's a lot harder to kill this than it was if he doesn't get all these forcing moves. But at the same time, with this cut here, it's not exactly perfectly okay, but these three stones are a little bit weaker than they were in the game. So I want to say that's why the AI says that fixing this is bigger. But I can't say for sure. If you guys are interested in that and the variations here, check out the Europeans Twitch channel and watch the VOD of the commentary of this game. I think it'd be really cool. But yeah, hopefully I've kind of explained this in a way that everyone can understand. But wow, I was not expecting that group to die. I really thought something else was going to happen, but I really expected white to live. I don't know why I expected it. He was in a lot of trouble, but I really expected him to come up with a way to live. Yeah, interesting game. He completely had a lead. White had completely had a lead. And then the cutting points. Artem just activated the cutting points and was able to pull out a victory. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, so I'm wondering, between the last game and this game, I'm wondering if Artem was just able to come up with these fights, and he sets himself up to have the advantage in fights and overtime, and I'm wondering if that's what's leading to his victory, is just his fighting ability. Because I feel like, in just these two games, I feel like Palco here actually had better positions, or more normal looking positions. And then Artem was just a crazy fighter and is able to come up with some really powerful fights and uses them to make a comeback or take an advantage. But at the same time, Palco can also fight. We saw in the last game, Palco can fight. Artem just seems to be just a slightly better fighter. I think that's just a minor difference between the two. Yeah. And that is game 2. That is game 2. All right. And now for our last game. Last game of the stream. Palco versus Artem. Game 3. Yeah, it really proves the point of watching your cutting points. Artem and Palco, game 3. And although Artem's won twice, I feel like Palco has very good chances to win as well. It's just some small fights that Artem just is able to take the lead on. All right. Are we going to see a normal opening this time? Let's find out. Nope. This is actually the same strategy. I wonder if this is like something he studied. And he just knows some counters. That's why he's doing it. All right. Same position as game 1. This is game 3, right? I didn't pick the exact same game, right? Yeah, round 3. Round 3. Surely it's not going to go the exact same way. Okay. Okay. I was worried for a second. I was worried. But I wonder if this is an opening and I just don't know it. Maybe reviewing more pro games, this will be like, oh hey, this is just an opening. All right, but he's changed it up now. Now he's going for the surround on the 3 stones. This is more along the lines of what I expected in game 1. Like, instead of this move, I did not expect this move in game 1. I expected something here or something to do with the 3 stones. So this is more along the lines of what I expected. It's him surrounding these 3 stones for kind of a counterattack. Okay. If it was me, I would probably do something like here. Maybe something like that. I think it's like normal looking. Or going for the attack to get the thickness in the center and just dealing with the counterattack. It's a very powerful idea. Ooh, crosscut. Complications to settle. And it's okay if black gets a little something here because we did get a stone in the center as white. So we can get, black can get a little bit here and white's still okay. And once again, utilizing that Aji right there. This one is less surprising of the timing as game 1, but there's definitely a lot of reading happening here to utilize all the Aji for white to live in a very special way, very efficient way. Yeah, this is why I say don't play this 2 space, because there's a lot of variations in here, and they clearly know this very well. Clearly. And it's okay if he loses a couple stones, because the 3 stones can't be surrounded in 1 move. So he's still able to run out with the 3 stones. So even if he lives in the corner, it's okay, just preventing some points. So, very nice fight, I think. Black's handling it nicely as well. White's definitely making it more complicated, but black seems to be okay as well. Just, you know, staying strong, keeping some points. Starting a fight. If it was me, I'd probably play a simple variation here. You know, just play simple stuff. Like maybe like this, and then maybe Tanuki or something, or maybe settle the right side or Tanuki. I'd probably simplify it, but that's probably why I'm not a pro. I kind of shy away from this complex stuff, this uncertainty. Interesting. Cutting points are crazy. Especially pro cutting points. These cutting points are crazy. Settle. And then these stones need to settle. Yep, stay connected. Okay, this was just a stupid clever. Of course you want to connect, but why connect when you can take a liberty? It's just these minor things that pros just let add up over time. Yeah, this I don't think I would have seen this move, but it looks so perfect for just running out. It takes advantage of the liberty problems on this stone to run this group out. Do you guys like fights? Do you guys like fights? Because this is now a fight to see who's the weak group. Who is the weak group? Who is the weak group? I feel like this usually goes to Artem's favor, though. Yeah, AI scoring is definitely confusing. But AI usually tends to like Palco in these fights. But these fights usually go in Artem's favor. at least in the past couple games. So even though Black's supposed to have an advantage, I feel like this is going into a game that Artem really likes. Because Artem usually wins these fights. And that's probably why he keeps winning the games, is because he keeps winning these fights. But Black should have the advantage, technically speaking. And this is a shoulder hit on the 5th line, too. It's so much territory for Black. And White has, like, a weak group and a half, at least. And Black only has 1 weak group. So it should be possible for Black to handle this pretty easily. But for some reason, Artem typically has, like, an advantage in these fights for some reason. Ooh, we're turning? Oh, yeah, make it 2 weak groups instead of 1, so that way it's easier defense. Spend 1 move to unsettle, so that way you can run away more easily. And now we're getting territory and going to treat this group lightly. I don't know if I would do this. I always say weak groups first, but these are pros. They're really good at dealing with light groups. And if you can't attack that group very powerfully, then you're going to be the one who is significantly behind the territory. So Black's like, I'm taking the territory lead. Deal with it. If you can't, I'm just going to deal with your attack. White jumping out. Black jumping out. Yep, just an exchange. Shape. Shape. Bamboo joints are great. And attack. So I'm starting to like White a little bit. This is usually how it typically happens, is I like Black up until Black Tanuki's the weak group too much, and then I start liking White, or whatever the color is. Because I really don't like being under this much pressure. This is why I always defend first, instead of making points and just gaining a lead and dealing with the attack. I always, like, prevent the severe attack, because I feel like this is too much to deal with. But Black has an advantage in territory, according to the AI. But I don't think I can play this way, though. This is too risky for me. But this is why I'm like a low Dawn instead of like a high Dawn. It's probably because I can't deal with this. And who would see this move? What even is this move? I don't know this move. This is why they can defend these light groups. See, I feel like probably the reason I can't play this way is because I don't have the defensive tactics that they do. Like, I don't have these moves in my arsenal. I don't know if you guys do, but I definitely don't. I don't have these fantastic defensive moves. It just makes me sad. But Palco does. These pros do. So it's hard to say that, hey, Tanuki a light group, is that bad? Because I have these defensive moves in my arsenal. And attacking pros are hard. I've played pros. Attacking pros are hard. And just look at how fantastic Black's shape is now, compared to just a few moves ago. Could you make eyes with this group easily? I could. But they're really good at this. They're really good at this. But that left side, though, that left side's becoming something. Squeeze, and yep. I mean, look at that. How could you not like White's position? Come on, AI. How could you not like White? I would love this as position as White. And you're telling me this is in Black's favor. Come on. Yeah, Black's practically alive now. Not completely. There's an eye right here, and there's a squeeze right here for shape. So Black and then just push and stuff. There's some shape right here. There's some shape right here as well. There's an eye right here. So Black's decently okay. It's really hard to kill Black. But look at that left side. I mean, come on. Now let's see how Black destroys it. Easy. Easy. Now this one, I could probably find this one as well. Simply because this does have Miai to make a 2-space jump. So that one's not, like, insane. It's not, like, impossible to find. I don't know if I'd have the bravery to play it, the guts to play it. I would be very nervous about playing in this area. Don't get me wrong. But this move's not crazy. It's just, you know, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. Thank you, Apollo, for the bits. I do have the alerts turned off right now, though, due to this going on YouTube. This video is also going to be going on YouTube, so. But thank you so much. Okay, so 2 space and life and death. Life and death. All right, guys. Do you know how to live? This is a life and death problem. Do you know how to live? Oh, and don't forget, if you're trying to make eyes right here, don't forget you're not completely alive. You can't forget about that. So, life and death, easy. Come on, we can all read this, right? Easy. Easy, easy, easy. And 30 seconds, mind you. They're in overtime. This is 10 minutes, 30 seconds 3 times. You only have 3 periods. 30 seconds, life and death. You can do this, right? Beauty humans. Oh, man. I like white. I feel like it's an easier time for white. Well, I say it's an easier time for white. Okay. These have to be timed to Sujis. These have to be timed to Sujis. I say it's an easier time for white, but at the same time, like, all the pressure's on white to perform. But black's the one's dying. So, there's pressure on both sides. Alright, so those had to be timed to Sujis to, like, read. Now we're seeing some shape. Yep. Making eyes. Making eyes, like those pros tend to do. Yeah, I remember the outside. Told you to watch that outside. Vital points. Don't you love them? All right, we got one eye. Got one eye. Wait, can't you make 2 eyes? Let me check this real quick. Maybe I just need to visualize it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering like what the order was. I just need to visualize it. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's only one eye. One eye. Where's your second eye? Yep. Time to Suji. Yep. Ooh. Here we go. Second eye. What? Did we just cut off this whole group? Ooh. So he made it Mii for... So if white connects right here, he pushes and... Because this is not an eye. Actually. If you go right here, there's that, right? So can you play this one in Sentai? Yes. Because that group's going to die. So you have to... fix. Which I think is what he did in the game. Yeah, he fixed. And so now you cut. You don't have a second eye, but it's a capturing race. But if anyone's seeing the score result, I think we know who wins the capturing race. Uh-oh. All right. Where was the move? That's not it. Where do we think the move is? Because black's okay here. Minus 4.7. This time to Suji, though. Current move 135. Let me... 135. Okay, so instead of this, let's just play A. And if we continue this out, remember we have to watch this. So if we just play here, dude, that's a problem, right? So if we do this, we just kind of get out, I guess. Maybe not. Okay, that's not what I expected to happen. I expected this to just work. Because what I was thinking was, if we do that, then we get a variation here. But maybe this doesn't work either. Okay, AI. I'm not strong enough to follow you. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to live. Let's try B. Maybe B is more obvious. Nope. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to live. I don't know. We need a pro. Phone a pro. Phone a pro. But. The big thing we can understand this game is that 97's a life and death problem, and pros are pros. Pros are insane. Right? Kill 97, guys. You can do it. Artem did it. Can't you do it? This is why I said, even though AI says black is up by 6.7, I really liked white here. I really did. I really liked that white had complete control of this huge section of the board. And it was in overtime. You're having to do this life and death stuff in overtime. But you know one thing that I have to question after watching these three games. The thing that I have to question is the time affecting Palco in a negative sense. I think Palco would be much, much better at longer games. So the question is, would Artem also be that much better at longer games as well? I would like to see these two play longer games because Artem is really good at the fighting, and I think that's the edge that he has over Palco in this series, is that he can deal with these crazy fights and maybe just read faster than Palco can in overtime. And he ends up setting up fights that is harder for his opponent. But with that being said, it's more than just that, though. It's more than just that. Because remember, black chose to create 2 weak groups for white. So white has a weak group and a half. And now I guess at this point it's just 1 weak group. But 1 weak group versus 1 weak group, and for some reason it keeps going in Artem's favor. So I think Artem was just slightly better at fighting, and I think that's why he won the series. I haven't seen the commentary. I haven't seen the games for today. But my gut understanding, or my understanding from these games, my imperfect, low-dawn understanding, is that I think Artem was just better at fighting in overtime than Palco, and that's why he was able to win these games. He just has a better instinct for fighting. So I'm wondering, since if Palco has like maybe better basics or something, if he could have won these games and done better with longer time. But you also have to say the argument of Artem would also have longer time. But if Artem's strength is in these complicated fights, if we gave Palco the time to handle these complicated fights, would it go the same way? I think there's that question. But yeah, the game did continue a little bit more past this point, but I don't think anything. Oh well, I said I don't think anything changed, but there's another group that's dying. Of course. Apparently, this is a huge mistake. I don't know. I haven't seen Artem's games before today. It's apparently more than a 20-point mistake. 20-point mistake. But I don't think it affected the result of the game. Right here, White's up by 38, and I just don't see White losing a 38-point lead. Yeah, and he resigned anyway. It didn't matter. Yeah, he couldn't live on the left. That's what decided the game. He couldn't live on the left. And he played all kinds of time to Suji's too to try to make life. But it was too easy for White. White had too much control of that section of the board. So even though Black probably had an advantage, because if it was the AI probably could have lived. But the AI can read insanely well. So even though the AI says Black's ahead, I disagree. White has control of the game at this point, in my opinion. And this is game 3. So Artem seems to be really, really good at fighting. And that's kind of mind-boggling that he keeps ending up in these situations where he's losing, but he just outfights his opponent. He just outfought Palco. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I'm just saying Palco. And that's quite, like, endearing to see that he's so good at fighting. But I feel like it's not that the other pros can't beat him. Because, I don't know, something about his game just doesn't feel as solid. I mean, I did review the Lee Sedol games as well. So maybe it's just after reviewing Lee Sedol and watching Artem, maybe just not a good comparison. I don't know. It feels like it's not as fine-tuned. So I feel like there's still like some part of his game they can improve. But this is just my very, very low understanding of his game. He's still such a strong player. I can't fight half as well as these two can. But just watching the game, I feel like there's an opening in his game. It's just so hard to take advantage of. And I feel like Palco just couldn't do it. I think maybe Palco just let the game go in Artem's, I don't know, style or preference too often. And maybe that's what the difference was, is just Artem kept getting a game that he wanted. I think the second game was the closest Palco had beating him. Because that one, he wasn't letting Artem like get the position that he wanted so easily. And I think that is what gave him the big edge. But then there was just one weakness and Artem jumped on it. So yeah, Artem ended up winning this entire series. Entire season 1. We bring that back up. Artem won the entire season 1 with this series. And what I find interesting is Artem beat Pavol, or Palco. Pavol, that Palco's his username. Artem beat him not just 3 times in the final, but he also beat him twice in the round robin. So he actually beat him 5 times. So I'm wondering if Artem was just a bad opponent for Pavel in this sense. I wonder if it's just the style or the preference or the position that comes up. I wonder if it's just a bad matchup for Pavel. Because that's 5 games. And it's not like Artem went undefeated in the league. Artem lost 3 times in the league. One against Ilya, one against Ali, another one against Andriy. So it's not like he can't be beat. But I feel like maybe Pavel is maybe just a good matchup for Artem. But still, those games, man. Could you guys play like that in 30 seconds? Could you guys play like these two in 30 seconds? It's a match with history. I would love to know that. So someone said in the comments, Artem versus Pavel is a match with history. So I'd love to know the history behind them. So I'm kind of this is me starting to learn the history, is watching these European pro leagues, and hopefully you guys can follow along and learn the history with me. So we'll see how these guys develop over the years, I guess, as the leagues continue. But yeah, this is me starting to learn the European pro scene, the European history. So hopefully you guys can learn it with me. And yeah, we'll kind of we'll go ahead and end it here. So hopefully everyone in chat and everyone on YouTube enjoyed us going over this series. And really hope you guys are learning more about the European Pro League, the Western Pro League as well. Yeah, so someone said the last season Artem kept playing unorthodox for funsies. So yeah, I would like to go over more games, but we'll see what we have time for. But yeah, this was season 1 of the European Pro League, and season 2 actually had Ryan Lee. So we can actually look right here. Season 2, I think, just finished as well. And this one had Ryan Lee from Canada, which is, I think, the only person from North America, the only pro from North America that's playing. So he actually joined in. And let's see, Artem didn't do as well. Looks like Ilya got the best of him this time as well. But we can go over this more in the future. But yeah, Ryan came with a vengeance. Ryan came in with a vengeance. He had a vendetta. And Ryan's really strong. Ryan's also one of the pros, one of the few Western pros that have actually beaten an Asian pro. And Asian pros are significantly, not like a huge significance, but significant enough that it's significant. Asian pros are significantly stronger than Western pros. And Ryan was able to play well and actually beat a top Chinese pro, I believe. So Ryan's coming in here with a vengeance. But mark my words, this league, the European leagues, the European pro scene, this is where it's gonna start. In 10 years, 20 years, 50 years down the road, if we have Western pros that are world class, like the Asian pros and the Samsung Cup and stuff, if we get Western pros, it all is going to start here with these leagues. From just having pros playing pros in competition in the West, this is where it's going to start. This is where it's going to start raising our pros. It started a few years ago with the pro exams and creating our first Western pros. Now that we have several of them, now we're getting our first pro leagues. This is where our pro history is going to start. I wish it was a little bit more starting in America. Not gonna lie. Like the North America, because I'm in the United States, so I kind of wish we had more pros in the United States. It's all happening in Europe. But we'll get there. 1 year at a time, 1 pro at a time, 1 league at a time, 1 match at a time. I think we'll get there. And we'll get some top Western pros as well. And get some more activity in the World Go community. And this is just the start of our Go history. 21st century is just the start for the West. We'll get there. And we'll be here watching it as it happens. But that is it for today, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed our stream today, reviewing the 3 games from the Season 1. Bring this back up. Reviewing the Artyom versus Pavel best of 3, or best of 5. I don't know, the 3-game series. From this finals of the Season 1 of the European Pro League Online. The Online European Pro League. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you everyone on YouTube for watching. Thank you everyone on Twitch for being here and being part of this. And as always, thank you everyone for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.